So I'm Judith Desbonne and I'm a human givens therapist based in Somerset. I was drawn to the human givens going back about 20 years actually, because at the time I was working as a mental health nurse in a young people's adolescent unit. At that time I obviously had my training in mental health and working with very young, very vulnerable children. Didn't know whether I was doing or saying the right thing. They were very distressed, I must have been doing something right. And then at that time it was Minefields College and I went along to one of the seminars at the suggestion that one of my managers, I had no intention of doing counselling, therapy, and we're going back 20 odd years and I don't think much has just changed since, because at that time the children, the young people had their therapists coming in for meetings and they'd use the jargon, and when they saw the therapist for their counselling they'd be very distressed. And as a nurses, we would be the ones picking up the pieces and getting off the roof and such like. So it was never something I wanted to do. What actually got me into human givens was actually Pat Williams' storytelling day. And what was fantastic about that was actually discovering that what I do naturally can actually work, can actually help people. And particularly coming from an African Caribbean background where we use story anyway, and I have a mum that uses story, and actually this is something I do innately and it can help people. So then it was just, as most people, you do another course, and then decided this seems to be the right route for me, did the diploma. I'm now in private practice 20 years on. That was never the plan. The plan was to just have the skills, use them in my job, and then of course when you get to a point where you've got more skills, you want to use them. And if you're in a job where you're not able to use them, you get frustrated and you want to move on. I did apply for posts and counselling, etc., and wasn't even getting shortlisted. We weren't particularly recognised then. So just fast forwarding now to where I am now, I've just finished a 2-year temporary contract, which should have been 3 to 6 months with the NHS, working with CAMS, using human givens, dealing with their waiting lists was the plan, and that just kept extending and extending. They still have waiting lists, unfortunately, but what was really nice about that role, it was the first time in 20 years I actually was earning a living out of human givens. And people are curious about the whole NHS thing. Had I applied for a job in NHS as a human givens therapist, I think that would be a different story. It's because I have the nursing qualification that I got in there. But they saw when I was there that I actually was very effective. The other thing about working at NHS is about using the language. So I wouldn't put on my notes rewind, I'd say reprocessing, I've done a rewind. Because people knew what I meant. They didn't know what rewind meant. They use EMDR, we don't, I wouldn't use that language. So it's very much speaking their language. So at interview, I said I use human givens, they hadn't heard of that. So to translate that, solution focus, some CBT, some mindfulness. I know it's more than that, but you have to speak their language to get in the door. So that's the thing I'd say about the NHS. Now, as I said, I'm working in private practice. Most of my caseload is young people that don't want to wait 10 months or years for their assessments, and I've got these skills now, so that's kind of where I am. Yeah. Oh, empowering, innovative, and natural.